Hello and welcome to another Max tutorial. In this video, I will use this 3D model to create this blueprint-like render. Let's get it started. Open 3ds Max, and the model you want to make a blueprint of. Open the material editor, and change one of the free slots to the ink and paint material. For a blueprint, we want the lighted color to be white, and uncheck the overlap in the material ID, below the ink controls. Change the ink width to something thinner as well, 1.5 might be a good starting point. Now assign the material to your object, and let's see our first test render. To get rid of these secondary colors, change the ink levels to 1. We want to change the background color as well. To do that, open the Environment panel, and simply change its color to white. Before I re-render, I will just reduce my mesh smooth iterations to 1, just to reduce my lag. Looks better already, black outlines on white worksheet. That's our next issue. We only got outlines, our render is missing some important lines that would be significant to showcase our object properly. Lines from different creases on the hood, side of the car, wheels, etc. To fix this, we will have to start using the smoothing groups. First, select one part of the car, let's say the hood. Apply a regular smooth to it, and set the smoothing group to 1. Once done, collapse everything that is below the smooth modifier, including the smooth itself. Remember, you don't have to use mesh smooth in this technique, but if you do, all the smoothing groups should be set below the mesh smooth modifier. Now select the polygons that are making the crease in the object, and apply another smooth modifier to it. Make sure to add it to another smoothing group, anything but one. Every crease on each object has to have its own smoothing group added to it. Since I am using mesh smooth, I have to turn on the smoothing groups in the mesh smooth setting for the creases to show up. Render out again, and the lines on the hood should be visible now. Repeat the same process in the whole model, adding smoothing groups to every polygon that creates creases on our model. To see the edges better, I will temporarily change the paint color to a darker gray, and will set it back to white later on. I will show part of my process now in real time, and will speed up the video afterwards. If you think you saw enough, and understood the method, feel free to skip to the next step. You can see the difference between the geometry before and after adding the smooth modifier. We are aiming to achieve these hard edges everywhere we want to add lines to our blueprint. Every now and then, do some test renders to see how things look like, and if you are satisfied with the parts you already covered. For this tutorial's sake, I won't go into too much detail with my model, but you can make it really detailed if you got the time and patience. Let's speed up the things a little, so we can move on to the next step. If your object isn't too complicated, you can use the Auto Smooth option instead of the smoothing groups. It will work too, and sometimes can be a lot faster. As you can see, my object is ready now. This is the time where you can start playing with the ink width, and change the ink quality to 3, so you get cleaner lines. Now let's assume you want to render out the model from the front view. But what happens when you try to do that? The ink and paint material isn't working in orthographic views. To make it work, you have to render from either perspective, or from a camera. Perspective view isn't suitable for this kinds of renderings, so we have to go with the other option. Place a camera in the scene. Select the camera, and in the modifier panel, enable the orthographic projection option. Render it out, and you will see a perfect orthogonal view of the model, now with working materials. But the quality seems poor. To change that, we will have to switch to the Mental Ray renderer. So open the render setup, and choose Mental Ray. Before you starting the render, pull the image precision slider to the right side of the scale, turning up the rendering quality to high, but turn off all the other options. Now press F9 to render out the image, and what you're going to see is a clean line art of your model. Rendering times can be long at this phase, especially with a higher poly model like mine. So for any test renders before the final image, turn down the image precision to low. To set up the scene for the final render, turn on the safe frames in the camera's viewport. If you are rendering out different views like me, it might be a good idea to group your objects. Create 3 copies of it, and rotate them in the desired position. Finally adjust the camera, so everything would fit into the safe frame, and make a test render. On my test render I saw that the line width are a bit thicker than what I was aiming for. So I changed it to 0.8. I double-checked the line width with a region render. The results were satisfying. Everything else seemed fine. So after changing back to very high precision, here is my final render. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, suggestions, tips, whatever, just leave a comment. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you, bye bye.